Hello, Sarah. How are you? I'm Ariel.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Sorry for the shock there if I gave you one.
It's cold in this one.
It is cold.
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
I don't know why it is so cold. Just to, make you uncomfortable. Yeah, exactly.
Cool enough.
We are approaching Paris, and I know for every athlete in your shoes, the Olympics is a really big deal and a very exciting thing to think about. For you, I'm wondering, until we get to Paris, is it a bit of a sore subject considering how Tokyo went?
I think there's one way to look at it is as a sore subject, and I think that's maybe the perspective of others. But for me, Tokyo was such a huge learning opportunity for me. 2022 that propelled out of that was huge, and I think that's from what I learned there. And there's a piece of the Tokyo Olympics that I think really stuck out to me, and it was, my second round throw in the qualification was quite far. I just ended up fouling it. And so to me, that was a piece to hold on to of the potential. I went from here to here very quickly, and I ended up, I think 28th or something. I can't even remember the number because I didn't want to look at it, right?
That's a good thing.
But what I learned is how close I was and kind of what was the gap.
And so when you have these moments like what happened in Tokyo, I've read you say this, and correct me if I'm wrong, that it was so tough on you that you actually considered walking away from the sport. How close did you actually get to that point?
Yeah, I would say, there was two routes I could have taken, and then one of them was, always looking for a change, is trying to find a new situation. I thought maybe a move to maybe find somewhere else to train. For me, the Olympic experience was nothing that I had imagined it to be for so many years that kind of didn't want any part of it. After, a pandemic, a cancellation, and all of this heightened emotion around making my first Olympics, I got none of the emotion or gratitude from it than I thought that I would, especially with COVID being a part. I got exited from the village immediately after. And so my whole very petite Olympic journey was that failure. And that was really hard to swallow. So I ended up going and competing after the Olympics in Portugal and then Belgium. And I remember just absolutely hating being there. I didn't want to throw. I had no motivation. And so I would say fairly close. And it was, my coach and I reconciled when we got home and kind of talked me back into it. And we, again, kind of talked about the pieces that are still there and the potential. And he got me excited about throwing again. And we just took it day by day from there, because training after that was, very low motivation for that fall, winter. It was my confidence was shattered, my ego was low, and I just didn't really have that identity as a high performance athlete anymore. And so it was tough to wake up every day and do something that had kind of treated you so poorly.
Do you remember what the turning point was for you when you started to regain that love and passion for the sport?
I think slowly but surely I was able to work with my sports psych on trying to have some fun. It went from being a university thrower who did this as a hobby to very quickly in 2018 throwing far enough to be on the world scene, and all of a sudden I was turned upside down, and it became a job. And then I felt through those couple years I did it because I had to and not because I loved it. And so the fall of 2021 was basically if I'm gonna be here, I at least have to like being here, because now I have the choice. Finding the love of throwing again, joking, laughing, and as the throws started to get a little bit better with kind of leaning on someone else, it was easy to fall back in love with the reasons why I actually love throwing. And it's the speed, power.
And look at you now, we're talking to you on the heels of becoming the first Canadian woman to medal at the World Championships. Congratulations on that. So it seems like your confidence is at an all-time high. Would you say you've come a long way from 2021?
Definitely. I feel like an entirely different competitor. I feel in 2021 I was there for the experience. I thought that I, as you do, this was the first time being at the Olympics. I thought I was this big, Canadian shot putter, and then easily got humbled and had to kind of pick myself up and dust myself off. And through a lot of learning, just was able to overcome so much adversity, basically, that it's hard not to be confident in yourself that no matter what happens, you can do it.
What did that feeling feel like when you got the silver, when you became you know, the first game. I saw an interview with you. You're a very smiley person, clearly, but you seem very happy-go-lucky. It just seemed like you couldn't stop smiling, like to the point where it probably hurt after a while, right?
Yeah, it was hard because, you know, in the throws, like you go in reverse order. So the girl who was in fourth went, she didn't take anyone out. The girl who was in third went and didn't take me out. But then it's your turn. And so like I knew that I won a medal, which had been the goal for so long. And so it was very hard to like take a deep breath, like compose yourself. But literally I remember standing at the front of the circle before I took my 6th round throw, and I was just like giddy, like ready to cry, but I knew that I couldn't because I still had a chance to win the gold medal. And so I like stood there for like what felt like an eternity, but probably only a second. And I like composed myself and then was like, imagine how good it would feel if you won a gold medal right now. And I went in, I had a great throw, but I fouled it. But that moment was still like, I came out of the circle, I was like, I cannot believe this just happened. But I like ran over to my coach, and like he's been there since the beginning. And yeah, it was like, I don't think we stopped smiling for like days. I mean, we still pulled the medal out.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things you wrote on Instagram was like, don't stop believing in yourself. Now, after speaking to you for a little bit, that has deeper meaning. And so I would imagine, given what happened in 2021, obviously no fun, but made you appreciate this moment even more, right? Because at a time you probably did stop believing in yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I had totally gone from being this person who thought, yeah, I'm an Olympian. Like it comes with like this associated proud feeling, and then, you know, it got quickly taken away from me. And all of a sudden I kind of realized like, maybe I can't do this. Maybe I'm not built for this, you know? Some people seem to make it look so easy, and I just didn't feel like I had that experience. And coming out of that, like, it was hard, and but like you said, like, you know, the moment where I did it made me realize like how hard it is to do, one, but also like how much goes into it. And I think if I had just like busted onto the scene and won a medal, like, sure, that's fantastic. I would have loved that, but it definitely has had like a bigger impact on like my life, my sports, how I live my life. Like all of that has like come together because I've had to work so hard to get here.
One final question, if I may. I know we're doing a fun thing here where you guys are writing letters to yourselves in the future, and I think you mentioned to a member of the team that you wish you did this exercise in Tokyo.
I know what Sarah needed after the last Olympics.
There you go.
Could we have done this at Tokyo?
Why is that?
Because I think sitting here now, I have all these big goals. If they happen, that's fantastic, but I know the feeling that comes if they don't. But right now, I feel like pretty invincible. And I did in 2021 too. Like, despite the pandemic, I had solid training, like the best training of my life to date at the time. And if Sarah then could have told Sarah after that she'd still be fine, it probably would have been good. And I think if I had been able to have that positive voice that was so prominent before the games tell me that, you know, write a letter to myself just so no matter what happened, it was good, I think it would have been like extremely positive. But yeah, I didn't have myself to rely on then, and I know that I'm like better equipped for the future, but I'm super excited to read that letter afterwards, no matter what happened.
We are excited as well. Good luck to you. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
You're an inspiration. I wish you nothing but the best.
So nice to meet you. Thank you.